Hey guys, Tyler2K here. Today we're into something a little bit different. We're going to take a look at Alisa in Season 2. This is Day 6 of Season 2. And we do have a match review coming up in about 2 weeks. So I figure it's probably going to be fewer people than normal, simply because like Season 2 is a cluster. I was like, okay, what we'll do is one of the matches being reviewed is an Alisa player. So I'm like, okay, well, I should probably look at all Alisa Season 2 stuff rather than just kind of knowing through osmosis. I should take a look at it. So full disclosure, I took a really quick look through the move list just to make sure I remember how to do all the inputs, and I do, but I haven't really gone in the nitty gritty and looked at everything here. So keep that in mind. So again, we do have a match review in 2 weeks. Take a look on my community page, my post or whatever, or look on the comment, the top comment. I'll probably go ahead and say like, oh, here's the link to the match reviews and whatnot. So, okay, let's jump into it. So balance direction. Hopefully you guys can read it this time. I know I messed up with the Jack one. Okay, Season 2, balance adjustment. Everyone has the same thing. Strength of stances, including destruction form, dual boot, and backup. In Season 1, destructive had high chip, making it very strong. To address this, chip has been reduced, which is a system-wide change. Instead, there are now improvements to dual boot and backup to improve the usability. Okay, new transitions have been added, allowing for more fluid and diverse combat strategies. I'm not super happy about that, simply because one of the issues I had with Season 1 Alisa was they added like a bunch of new transitions, and typically like these like massive amount of transitions are better left for like lower tier characters, e.g. like a character like Azucena. Alisa arguably top 10 going into Season 2, Season 1, so probably doesn't need it, but we'll see the complete package shortly. Okay, in destructive form, so that's down 1+2. Has been reduced the chip damage on moves, so including forward 1+2. And then also during destructive form, interesting, but that's a low. Does this do chip on low? Oh, it does. Oh, okay. Wow, that's like no chip now. 1 point of damage. And how much was this? Okay, 5. Wow, look at the pushback though. But yeah, that makes sense. Like down 1, 1 point though. That's crazy. Okay, so for dual boot, so dual boot is when your chainsaws are out and you enter into fly. That's called dual boot. In Season 1, they added a brand new mechanic for her heat mode emergency boot, which I think is forward 2+3 with heat mode, if I remember correctly. Or it's some sort of variation like that. Okay, forward 1+4, my apologies. So if you ever need to go into dual boot instantly without destruction form, forward 1+4 the pop meter. But they're probably not going to talk about that. So dual boot. Okay, during dual boot, forward 1 has been... Sorry, that's the wrong move. So let's go into dual boot, fly forward 1. Ah, okay, so the chainsaw attack throw, which I think even on a standing opponent is transitions. Okay, it does. I know against airborne it does. But wow, so the chainsaw is now safe. Is this a red spark attack? Okay, no, it's not. So you can still armor through it. You just can't reverse it because it's a chainsaw. It's a weapon. Okay, so it's been made to prevent it from being punished, which is a weird change, to be honest. Okay, new move, dual boot forward 1+2. Oh yeah, the fucking the Zangief hasn't been added. Okay, I'm curious. We'll get to it, I'm sure. +7, wow. And then her fast attack, I think it's like forward 1 on 11. Wow, that's pretty good. Crazy. Okay, additionally, okay, we got to talk about that. Okay, transition, destructive form can now transition from dual boot, which is a nice change as well. So this is one of the things I just quickly took a look at. So it's not forward 3+4 2. It's forward 1+2 3. It's not forward 1+2 3. You have to time the input. So you wait for the animation to almost end, and then you either hit 3 or 4 to transition into stance. So keep that in mind. Okay, so that allows access to go into dual boot, although I wasn't paying attention at the frame data, full disclosure, same thing. Okay, we're +4 into dual boot. And I think dual boot down 2, unless it's down 1. Okay, I don't know the input. We'll figure it out later, I'm sure. I think they talk about it. Okay, for backup. So backup is, I believe, this, down back 1. Down back 1 can now transition into dual boot. Oh, you have to do it fast, by the way. It's basically a stance, otherwise she recovers an FC, and then you have access to all your wall stand attacks, so you have to mash it out. Okay, sir, so during backup can transition into dual boot with down back 1, 3. Oh, look at that. Additionally, during backup, um, can transition into dual boot. Oh yeah, I'm not used to that timing though. Okay, so boot with 3 or dual boot with forward 3. Although I think forward 3 is probably what everyone does. I think people go for like the dual boot forward 1 attack throw because that's now a chain because they don't say it yet. But what's it called? Backup 1 is now strong aerial tailspin state. Okay, so new moves. So dual boot, forward plus 2, hello world. That's the wrong input. There you go. So that gives them the Zangief. I assume this is like a full launcher. Let's find out. Ah, fuck. Okay, so full launch. I don't know what the combo would be. I don't know if like the Power Crush is a spin anymore or what. But okay, brand new thing. I'm curious though. I don't know how we're gonna test this realistically. But I want to see like if it has any sort of tracking. Oops, god dang it. I have to go into dual boot. Okay, so not the best way to test. Okay, I think I tested both those. Okay, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't track at least that. I guess what I can do, I'm going to go ahead and just test. Simple step. Okay, so you have to commit walk. There also is the possibility that when I'm doing this attack, it's simply realigning off of him. So when I'm initiating my stance, he had already stopped moving, so it naturally realigns. Kinda. It's not quite a fair test for Alisa, but it looks like if you commit at least on full step, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so heat. 4 for 2. Oh, 4 for 2. 1 plus 2. Whoa. How much meter did that cost me? Wow. So it only cost me like 3 or 4 seconds maybe. That's nice. Can I like same thing. Let me try. Does this like auto align because I'm initiating with the 442? Okay, no it doesn't. Other way now though. Okay, no. So no, it doesn't quite work that way. Okay. I mean, that's still cool to have access to 442. The only issue I kind of have with it is the +3. Right, +3, we're so far away. This might be better suited as like a chip out kill or something. I'm curious, so let me go ahead. Sorry. I always feel bad. Like, oh shit, I forgot about the cursor anyway. Okay, that does full splat. And then I don't know what the combo would be from there. No, 4 plus 2, 1 plus 2 would probably be dog shit. Maybe I can cancel backup, or maybe into down back. Back 2-3, I think it is, or back 2-4. I don't know. Okay, during heat and destructive form. 4 for 2. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong input. So forward 2-1. No. Okay. Oh, and destructive form. My apologies. My reading comprehension. Oh, into emergency boot basically, because that cost me meter to initiate that. Wow, okay. Interesting. So it looks like you're going to want to be stepping constantly. The only issue, of course, is we try stepping during the stunt, you get launched. And then furthermore, I think... well, yeah, of course it would be safe on block. So, okay, out of curiosity, let's go ahead and put him on a block. And put the similar situation. Okay, well, that's kind of cheating. Oh, my bad. Oh, wow. So, like, everything's hitting off of off of dual boot anyway. Okay, whatever. Interesting, though, nonetheless. So, basically, you just transition into emergency boot from destructive form by doing forward 2-1. And like I said, part of the meta would be like, oh, do we complete the forward 2-1? The X option? Like, right, do we go full distance? Okay, evasive action. I think that's just destruction and then sidestep? Is it during dual boot basically? No, it can't be during dual boot. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know how to quite perform it. During evasive action. Destructive form. Ah, okay. Ah, so careful on double tapping now. Because you're going to transition, you're going to be in trouble. I wonder off of heat mode if this is any better. No, it doesn't look any better. So yeah, that's nice. At least you don't require heat mode to perform that. Okay, so here we go. Backup 1. Now can transition to boot by doing Demic 1-3. Or sorry, boot 3 or backup 1-3. And go into dual boot via forward input instead. So the really big juice on this, and hopefully I can get this first try. Hey, all right, first try. Okay, where were we at here? Oh yeah, it was backup 1. So yeah, I think there's also routes where you can go into boot, pick them back up, strong aerial tailspin, and then continue your combo without transitioning to dual boot. And then dual boot itself seems better suited for the end of the combo, where you can end with dual boot, forward 2 or forward 1 or whatnot, attack throw, so on and so forth. Okay, down forward 1-4 can now transition to destructive stance. Okay. Interesting. So we're into stance, and keep in mind we can block out of destructive stance. So it looks like on counter hit, because it has a 7% damage scaling on it, it now does something though. So let's see what might be guaranteed. At the bare minimum, I'd say forward 1, but if I was to take a guess, probably 1 by itself would be guaranteed. Let us find out. Oops. Okay. Second hit has it. Okay. Plus 13. Plus 13 into stance. So I think that's just destructive. Or well, no, he looks like he's an FC though. Yeah, so you can guard that. This is 15. 15. 19. And that, oh, that down forward 1. Okay. Interesting. So what's important to note, and actually, are we going to talk about it right away? Okay, destructive 4 1+2. Okay, no, we're not quite talking about it yet. So you might think to yourself, wow, that's really strong, right? To have this guaranteed, and then we go into like, you know, dual boot forward 1+2, or sorry, dual boot 1+2. Sorry, I'm used to the old notation. You're like, oh, that's hella good, right? We have an unskilled into an unskilled. Long story short, no, it doesn't work anymore. That's something they did nerf. Okay, we'll get to that soon enough. Okay, destructive form forward 1+2. As talked about, forward 1+2 can now transition into boot, or dual boot rather. Sorry, because she's in destructive stance by tapping 3. And again, you want to do it at the end of the animation. Well, not that end of the animation, I guess. There we go. You don't want to mash it, because if you mash it, you're not going to get the input out. Similar thing, no mashing. But time it ish. I think we can be kind of liberal with the timing. Yeah, you don't have to wait until the very last hit, so you can just hit it. But yeah, overall, you don't have to you can just hit it for the most part, and you'll get the right animation out. But yeah, forward 2 can now transition into dual boot. Damage has been changed to do basically 5 less points on the very end. Although, were we hitting them the whole time? Okay, yeah, we were still hitting them. Recovery time has been reduced. So it's no longer +5, it's now +1. That's a huge change. So kind of similar to dual boot, god dang it, dual boot 1+2. We have to guess what our opponent's going to do. Now we can turn steel, of course, using Power Crush, but no longer is it a freebie. Now what is it on block though? Okay, still the +4 though. And then obviously we have dual boot 3 for general safety and counter hit option. But okay, interesting. So damage on block has been increased though, so that's the stitch. Oh yeah, look at that. We're hella far away, which does allow for our mix-up to apply, you know, is it forward 2? Yeah, forward 2. Our mix-up, which of course spoiler alert, is getting buffed in Season 2, which you'll see shortly. But yeah, at least we now can apply pressure. Okay, you want to mash out? Okay, well, here comes the Hell Sweep 2 option. Keep in mind, of course, because we're transitioning at +4, an option like the Hell Sweep on 19 cannot be power crushed. So basically, they'd have to mid-check you out to win. Technically, you would trade against 15. I think you would trade negative because I don't think this does anything on counter hits. So they would win positive in that spot. But it's basically a mix-up between basically taking incoming, challenging, and I'm sure you could go for some sort of YOLO option like dual boot 4 or something like that. Probably don't want to do that. It's not a sustainable strategy. But I mean, he could go for it. He could go for the Dragon Punch. Fuck it, you know? Okay, Destructive Form down 2. Okay, so they're saying it's a new move because it can now transition into dual boot by tapping 3. So similar idea. After we knock them down, actually, this is not. Is this because of counter hit or is that also a natural hit? Because it said +4. +4. Okay, so if we don't go into transition, we're just even and drop out of stance. Okay, interesting. Distance from opponent block was reduced to alleviate whiffing midway through. Yeah, sometimes the dual boot, or sorry, the destruction down 2 would also slightly off axis miss. So understandable that they're buffing that, or fixing it rather. Okay, damage has been reduced, 3 less points. Keep in mind, I think this is all unskilled, right? Yeah, these are all unskilled hits, so that's an actual 3 damage being reduced. And then second hit, okay, so it looks like if they block the second hit, the third hit jails, which is scary, of course, in certain matchups, e.g. This one, his destruction down 2 is -14 on block. So Jin, Kazuya, Eddie, Raven, Bruce. Okay, distance on hit has been increased. Yeah, which is similar to what we had seen with Fortums 2. So now, basically, they want you. They really want you to transition into boot afterwards. Like they really want to force it because you're further away now. So it's harder to enforce the frame. So it's like, you know what? We're gonna make this different. We want to force your stance transitions. We want to go for mix-ups, so on and so forth. We want you to do it. So that's the idea. Okay, unblockable is now back 2+3. Back 2+3 probably gives us heat burst. Oh no! Wow, interesting. That seems like an oversight. Interesting. I was like, oh, it's gonna be back 2+3, like something like that. But no, it's straight up OS is to back 2, of course. Because 2 takes priority over 3. Interesting. So they're saying that the emergency boot now costs 60. Wow. It costs 60 frames, which is 1 second, rather than 150. Wow, that's a huge change. So, like, similarly, or sorry, okay, I misread that. It makes sense. It went from 300, aka 5 seconds, to 150, which is 5 seconds to 3 seconds. That's a significant buff, which means technically you can go for a couple of different dual boot options in a row. Hey, we have 1 more meter. You can still pop it. That's a big change. So again, they're really forcing this archetype of wanting you to go to dual boot, go for a Hell Sweep mix-up or something to that effect. Now that the Hell Sweep is even stronger, which we'll talk about very shortly. That's huge. Okay, timing for executing attacks has been sped up by 4 frames. So interesting. So it's stronger now, period. You can attack quicker, which means maybe an option like that. Maybe the forward 1 pressure can't even be effectively ducked now on semi-reaction, right? Because 4 frames is a lot of frames. For the most part, 20 frames is typically what's regarded as seeable, or like the cusp of seeable. So keep in mind, like that'd be a difference between like a 20 framer and like a 24, right? Where everyone can typically see. And a 20 framer is like almost no one can see. So 4 frames is a big deal when you put it in that context. With that being said, I don't know the exact frame when this opens up for us to mash out a dual boot option. But yeah, that still is huge to gain access to that kind of speed buff for sure. That's definitely a big one. Okay, heat mode down +2, which I think is her armor, right? Yeah, this is basically hyper armored. Now, instead of it being 150 frames, so 3 seconds, it's now a flat 60 frame option. Recovery time reduced by 8 frames, so she can basically mash out really quickly. So think of this as basically King armor, where she hyper armors through your attack, and then she'll just like launch you and, you know, meter option. Although we won't have counter hits, so it would be something else. It would be like, I guess, yeah, Destruction 2 for launcher instead, which should be a launcher. So yeah, so it's like, okay, you want to do like Dragunov running 2, armor, Destruction 3 or Destruction 2 that throw you into the air and launch you for free. So that's pretty nice for sure. It's funny because like overall they gave the King flex mechanic to a few other characters, but King's got worse. So the one King nerf, by the way. Okay, so do boot forward 1. Okay, so yeah, this is the attack throw. We already talked about that. Now, instead of it being -11, it's now -9, which is a big deal. And also, furthermore, it's nice that she's dropping out of stance when she performs this. So that means she can guard instantly on 9. That means there's no trickery. If you think they're going to go for a low, you can duck it. You could probably low parry as well, since you're a clean -9 rather than like -9 stuck in stance where she has to cancel stance to guard low sort of thing. So that's good. That's super nice for sure. Okay, during dual boot, she can now cancel it, which is crazy. So dual boot. Oh, so that's a hold. So hold it. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, because I think she teleports now. Oh, is it not during emergency boot? Is that what it is? Okay. Huh. I mean, this is dual boot. I'm holding back. Okay, or maybe she can just guard. Maybe this is more similar to King Jaguar Run or Jaguar Sprint. Okay, so I guess maybe during this animation. Okay, well, there's one way we can test this. And the best way to actually test it would be to turn on simple frame data. So with simple frame data, we can see everything that's currently occurring. So we'll go into boot, go into photo mode, and then watch it. So she's technically still in stun. So here would be her first frame of guarding, presumably. Okay, well, I guess, you know, fuck it. If that's not going to work, I guess we're going to just have to test it the old-fashioned way. And do a bunch of jabs. And I'm sorry, my cursor. And then I'll just do jab, 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 jab. But yeah, simple view is good for figuring out some shit when it's kind of esoteric like that. Don't do it to me, Jin. Okay, well, I got clipped and I tried holding off a dual boot. Maybe I'm thinking of where she teleports backwards. What the fuck would that input be? Huh, okay. Yeah, okay, so I just think what they're talking about is what I was saying. So during this, because it says during the middle of the stop animation, so she's technically not stopped yet. So she can guard on this frame, and maybe originally she couldn't guard until like this frame or something like that. That's the only kind of thing I can think of. But I mean, okay, sure. Again, they're making it more similar to Jaguar Run for King, where he can guard during his Jaguar Run and bait out rage arts and shit like that. Okay, down back 4. They went pretty crazy with down back 4. Rather than it being a launch punishable kind of hard knockdown sort of input or option, now it's more of a really quick poking low. So +2 and then, okay, behavior on hit has changed, right? No longer knocks down clearly. So let's go ahead and put on counter hit. Oops, wrong input. Ah, okay, so we're plus 12, but it's a G, so he can block our incoming down 4, which is nice because I think we still get a natural mix-up naturally between Shoe Shine and then, for instance, Wall Stand 2, so on and so forth. That would probably be the best option you can kind of go for. So Wall Stand 2 on 17, and then Shoe Shine on 20, 21, okay. Because you're not going to go for like Wall Stand 1-2 raw and presume they're going to mash out, right? Because the high option. Maybe what you could do is start enforcing some sort of Wall Stand 3 confirm and or cancel, since, you know, it's safe on block nowadays. So, okay. I mean, it's nice to have a quicker poke. Keep in mind, like, kind of one of the problems that Alisa had was the fact that, like, her really quick, most notable poke down by 3 is not +3. It's +3 on counter hit, but on natural hit, it's -2. So your opponent can challenge you in this -2 position. The nice thing, you're playing a character like Alisa, so you can deep step into like back 3/4. But you required counter hit to get any sort of juice off of it. Otherwise, you have to transition to Shoe Shine, which granted is easier in this game, right? Because we don't have to hold the input anymore. That's a V104 buff for all the characters you can Shoe Shine. So it's like dash, 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 hold it for a split second, and then perform instant Shoe Shine. So it's easier in this game. But like overall, your like go-to high crushing poke would be down by 3. But now she has a little bit slower version, which also grants us the +12 on counter hit, and then we get 50/50 force afterwards for free. So it's nice. So no longer launch punishable. Instead, -14. So in certain matchups, it might suck. So e.g. Jin matchup. But again, like we talked about earlier, down by 4 on 20 is effectively invisible to most people. So it's going to be more of a soul read timing from them and not a reaction like the old Damek 4 was on like 23 or whatever it was. 23 or 24. Okay, up 4 or 3/4. Recovery reduced by 5 frames. So behavior on landing a hit has been modified. I think this is at the wall, if I remember correctly. Oh, she doesn't have teeth. Okay, maybe I have to mash it. I don't know. I know there's like a low slump on it. Oh yeah, see, there you go. So maybe something's guaranteed. So it looks like you just mash that shit. So force 50/50. Oh, so there you go. Down 2 was guaranteed. Okay, a little bit faster. There we go. Okay, so unscaled guaranteed. There probably is a better combo structure to gain access to up 4 3/4. But still, you now cause the little ground spike. And because up 4 3/4 recovers quicker, it's a combination of the ground spike plus your quicker recovery speed allows for an option like down 2/4 to be guaranteed and unscaled afterwards. So, like I said, there probably is some better combo structure I simply don't know about, but that is a thing now. Okay, dual boot forward 2. Okay, now transition to destructive form after the first hit, which is huge. And if you don't notice right away, now we're +6 after hitting them rather than being -6. We're +6 into destruction. So similar idea, down 4/3, the challenge, Rage Art, one option for safe Power Crush or safe mid option. Yeah, that's a big deal to have access to that. I think technically I would imagine dual boot forward 2 is still launch punishable, but let's find out. No, it's not even launch punishable. Whoa, okay. That's a huge buff then. Is it still Hell Sweep? Still Hell Sweeps. Okay, recovery speed decreased on the first hit. So instead of it being -16, yeah, -12, I guess we could have just read it. Recovery speed improved, so it's +6 instead of -6, which is huge. As such, the damage has been reduced. Oh, no, it hasn't. It's been buffed. The last hit does more damage. The first hit does less. So 5 more on the last hit, which I think was a scaled hit, right? Okay, so we're probably only doing like 2 more damage on the front end, and then, or on the back end, and doing 3 less on the front end. But now, of course, the big difference being that we can transition into destruction, and we're not launch punishable for going for Hell Sweep. That's a really big deal. Other thing I imagine is this probably launches still? Oh shit. Forward 2, sorry, you can tell I'm not a Alisa player, right? Oh, okay, wow, that probably is gonna launch. Okay, maybe not, or maybe there's a quicker recovery I can get around. It's possible that maybe it's slightly range dependent. That's the only kind of thing I can think of. Okay, up forward 2. Behavior on the hit. On the second hit, midair has been altered. Okay, I think that means like... Yeah, like that. For instance, at the wall is never going to connect anymore. So because how they're left, it's a little bit different. It doesn't allow for the third hit to connect by the wall, which is a very good change. Sometimes this would phantom whiff or phantom... Yeah, it would phantom whiff, but being guaranteed most of the time. So open field, your combos should be, you know, roughly the same. I don't think there's going to be much difference here. But at the wall, now... up forward 1 is not a valid strat that cause a wall bound or wall tornado spin afterwards. So that's definitely a nerf. Okay, destruction 1. Behavior on hit has changed. Oh yes, that's what I was talking about. You can't actually go for dual boot 1+2 anymore. And this is a not the right input. And this is not a Alisa nerf, even though it says it is, which, I mean, technically it is. It's a system-wide change to throws and Oki that throws present you. So this being an attack throw and having the unskilled guaranteed follow-up, they had to nerf it, understandably. So, yeah, it did get the kind of chopping block. By the wall, I mean, you're probably still in a good spot. Yeah, look at that. We're full splatting still. And not to mention, I believe this is safe, right? Yeah, so, I mean, what's not to like, again, in there. Okay, destruction forward 1. Reduce the chip damage. Wow, 1 chip. Modify the chip damage on block when in heat to less damage as well. Okay, so obviously on block it's a joke now. Under heat, I mean, 7's still not horrible. But yeah, obviously 10 is significantly better than 7. Especially considering the fact that Alisa's plus frames in the spot. And of course 11 into 11. Or 11 into 13 if you think they're going to disrespect or whatnot. That's a big one. Okay, destruction form. 4-2-1-2. So the X option. Yeah, so the X no longer does nearly as much chip, which is a good change. So yeah, we did 21. And of course, the really tricky part here on defense, you can't actually armor through this and parry it either. Or sorry, reverse. Jin might be able to parry the full X route, but like everyone else in the game was not going to be able to do anything about this. So every single time, they would take significant chip to deal with that. And then of course, because it's a heat engager, right? Heat dash cancel, you're left at +5 after heat, HTC. So, yeah, that was really, really annoying to deal with. So I'm glad that did get nerfed. Okay, destructive form, down 1. Okay, so 3 less damage on the end, and then yeah, that's the big nerf here. The frame advantage is significantly worse. So -12 to -13 is a big deal. I think this is probably designed simply because the active frames on down 1, it's active for, frame 1 to 3. So technically, if you would guard, the down 1 on the 3rd frame, that would mean it would be -9 on the old nerf, on the old -12 data. So no one could punish it at all, literally. And now, with it at least being -13, everyone can punish it with at least a wall stand 4 now. Okay. For the most part, yes. Yes, everyone can properly punish it now. But I guess only Lee could punish it previously. Consistently. Although, to be fully frank, I mean, this is mostly probably a nerf for -13. Like, hey, we give our Jin opponent wall stand 1-2 punish now. If you're playing against Kazuya, you get a launcher. Because I think she's left in standing, so that means even a character like Eddie wall stand 1-3 will fully launch her. So, of course, that's the big one. But it's overall just the fact, like, in certain ranges, her down 1 isn't effectively max launch punishable or punishable at all. So they had to nerf that, which is a good change. Okay, overall, buffed or nerfed? I think her new combo routes, from what I've seen, are really, really, really strong. She already was a character who could do a lot of damage, and now she can even do even more damage. And kind of similar to Victor, the stance dancing is going to be really frustrating, especially now that a lot of her stance options, e.g. dual boot forward 2, is now safer on block. It's crazy to me. So overall, she might be in a weird spot. She's definitely buffed, but I don't know if she's super, super buff relative to some of the other characters we've seen. So between the slight nerfs to her frame data, what else did she really get that's really scary? So again, this is a damage increase, but her neutral game, I mean, down forward 1-4, destructive. Right, the rest of her game probably hasn't been affected too much. So I think I'm going to give her, for the first category of like just her meat and potatoes, her skeleton, is she buffed? Yes, but she's probably not as crazily buffed as quite a few other characters. So I'd give her half a point for her general buffs and nerfs. For her Season 2 Tekken 8 kind of playstyle, I'd probably also give her another arrow up, half an arrow up. I don't know if it's quite good enough to be, you know, I don't know. Is the Zangief good enough? Is that worth an arrow? I mean, Destructive 4 or Dual Boot 4 too, that's a huge buff. But the other ones don't seem to be massive. Now, I do like how they went out of their way to make like an option like Emergency Boot better, especially because Dual Boot is now her like go-to stance. Maybe there'll be some tech found with her Hyper Armor down +2. Sort of thing. Maybe my opinion of her will change over the season, but for now, I think she's a half a point plus a half a point. So she's not quite a +1 arrow on either side, but overall, I think she still definitely is kind of buffed. So, okay, if I made a mistake, comments, questions, concerns, hit me up. Please let me know the time code, the mistake. As talked about, there is some general information that I don't quite understand, but at the same time, I think we have enough of a gist on it, the gist to understand what's kind of going on with her. So, okay, that will be it. I don't know what the next character I will cover will be, but yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video either way. I don't know.